Hello and welcome. This is Dressing Room Diaries, and today we are joined by the cast of Keep Happy. No, is it?
No.
Stay happy, keep smiling. Stay happy, keep smiling.
Took us a while as well.
Yeah, everyone gets it wrong. Yeah.
Do you want to give us a little bit of an insight as to what the play's about?
Go on, over to you.
So the sort of basis is the Lee Rigby attack, and then kind of, I mean, it's quite hard to explain, terrorism attacks since, and this particular piece focuses on 6 eyewitnesses of the attack and how their lives are affected by it.
So your 2 characters, are you one of these people that has been affected by the attacks, one of the sort of random? To the eyewitnesses.
Yeah.
Okay, so tell us a little bit more about you.
Okay, so for my character, Elliot, it's all, like Alex just said, it's a case of how each one of them learns to cope with what they've seen, you know, and what they've witnessed. For my character, he sort of takes into the defense mechanism of humour, sort of like, I'm just going to laugh it off, I'm not affected by it, you know, and stuff like that, and every now and then it sort of taps in. It does make a shift in him, but he has a storyline where he's actually in the closet still, he's a gay man, and the whole situation eventually helps him come out because he realises that you can't live the rest of your life in fear.
I play the part of Annie, who has had quite a traumatic past and lost a child during pregnancy, and from that moment goes completely numb in life until the attack, which she witnesses, and it basically enables her to start feeling again. So it sort of brings her back to life a little bit. But like Simon said, you don't really find out though how she then continues. Her story's kind of open-ended as well, and you don't quite know whether she finds any closure or happiness. It's actually quite sad, my storyline. There is something, especially now with the 6 eyewitnesses, that someone can relate to in some way. And you know, she's it's just fascinating, this particular piece, because obviously it's based around such a traumatic, horrible event, but it's not close family and friends that she's talking about, it's complete randoms that have witnessed, and you don't ever really hear about those sorts of people that are affected by something that they've just seen. You hear about family and friends that, and you know how awful it is for them, but then just the fact that we're just playing complete randoms off the street that just happen to be there at that time, and how we're affected by it. You never hear about that sort of those sorts of people, so it's actually really quite fascinating, I think, to be a part of it.
I think that's what drew me personally to that story, because I just think it's so nice that you're looking at just normal people, and so like you say, that's why it is so relatable, and the fact that you don't know what happens at the end of and you can, like you said, you can make it into your own, so it's quite a sort of community experience, really, isn't it? Like the audience are drawn in.
It's very intimate having the audience on the 3 sides, because there's a lot in it that is direct addressed to the audience, especially for my character. I know you speak to them a lot as well. And it's great to have someone so close that you can talk to them and speak to these guys.
Personalises it.
Much more intimate.
And it is quite hard to watch some of Anna Jordan's pieces. I've just done Freak by Anna Jordan, and that's extremely hard hitting for an audience to listen to. So I'm kind of used to sort of making people feel uncomfortable, but that's kind of what's important, to make people listen to something that you don't really want to talk about or you don't want to hear about.
Exactly.
Just because it's an important message and it's an important subject to put out there, because it's so current,
and
obviously.
especially for Manchester as well.
Yeah, sensitive.
I was going to say, because it's obviously very current to what's going on now, unfortunately, but do you think this is a sort of message that, is it timeless as well in a way? Or
Definitely. I mean, this could have easily been put on before. I mean, in the actual piece, we don't reference Lee Rigby. It's almost used so it could be any sort of terrorist attack or anything that's happened on our soil. I mean, it could have easily been written beforehand, and it would have been as current then. But I think now it's on our doorsteps now, isn't it? Sort of thing. We haven't got much choice other than to.
Yeah, it's a very sensitive subject, but Anna obviously writes beautifully and deals with it very sensitively, and it's something that we were all obviously in rehearsals aware of dealing with
Yeah.
carefully.
We came to it sensitively.
So you talked a little bit about the kind of writing that you're working with. What was the process of putting this together like, or working together, and how do you approach it?
We, because there's quite a large cast, a lot of scenes are done individually or in twos. So we actually, as a group, only came together the day before tech. Yeah, so it was actually brilliant because, well, not brilliant. It would have been lovely to be together a lot more.
It was chaos.
Selfish actor. But in terms of being able to then watch what everybody had been working on and then it coming together, obviously with Simon directing it, so it was...
Not me, different Simon.
No, different Simon. Yeah, it was lovely to actually get everyone together, wasn't it?
Yeah, but also as well, it kept the piece very fresh, because if you're sat in a rehearsal room watching people rehearse day in, day out, it can get stagnant, you know what I mean, watching something over and over again. So it was great that we all came together a few days beforehand and then could witness what each of us would bring into the stage, sort of thing, and these other stories that, because for me, I mean, I never speak to anybody else's, you know, any of the other eyewitnesses' characters. I don't really know what their story is. I just know what my story is, and it was quite nice then to be like, oh, now I'm learning other stories.
Yeah,
you know, it's
and it did come together quite nicely, and how the stories kind of are so different but like interlink, and you know, everyone's got their own private situation, but then we all come together at different parts of the script. So it's lovely, a lovely piece, and it was lovely getting back together.
I guess because it's very character orientated, that's actually really quite important that you have that time to focus on your own, find who they are, and like you say, if you're not even interacting, then kind of seeing what the people are getting on with doesn't really help you that much. So that must have been quite different, but actually very helpful.
And it sort of depends on how the audience respond to how you start then carrying on with the piece that you're saying, because they have found different bits to laugh at or to cry at. You can see, you know, someone on the front row, and it just kind of...
Well, I never anticipated. When I start a monologue towards the end, I'm fast asleep on the bench over there for a very long time as well. I'm laying on that bench. And then, trying not to sleep. And at the end of the hospital scene with the therapist, I have to wake up very abruptly. Never really occurred to me that people were going to shit the pants. When I did that right on the front there, the first night, someone literally almost spilt his drink all down himself in the front row.
And then there's just like a ripple of laughter at the fact that everyone's jumped and spilled drinks.
But this is a heavy monologue which is about to start as well. This is my realisation. I've just woken up from a nightmare that I've just watched my boyfriend have his guts ripped out. You know, so it's quite a traumatic bit. It started with a laugh though, and in a weird way, that's what made me realise now. Like, you do learn to, you don't learn to laugh. You laugh and you feel, because you feel awkward. Do you know what I mean? And that's human. It's brilliant. So that made me realise on the first night, because I never anticipated for people to shit the pants. And they did, and we laughed. And I started this, and then as we were sort of giggling at the beginning, then I had this sort of realisation of the dream that I just had, and it just turned, and it gave it a totally different energy. It was brilliant.
It's been lovely talking to you both, and congratulations. Good luck for tonight.
Thank you.
Hope you have a lovely time off, and good luck, and I might see you in December for another interview.
Yes.
You never know.
You never know.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Cheers.